Iran was attacked on April the 1st, right? It was attacked, the embassy of Iran was attacked in Syria by Israel. After that, on the first occasion, they then sent missiles and drones, correct? Now, my question to you is, does Iran have a right to defend itself? And if so, what is a proportionate response? Because you see, I've been having a moral quandary about the issue. Piers Morgan, what's a proportionate response for Iran?
I'll tell you what I think about Iran. I think Iran is an unbelievably nefarious place which has been fueling Hamas, the Houthis, Hezbollah for many years with a joint
does that have a right to defend
joint ideology that they want to eradicate Israel in any way they can.
Okay. Does it have
so
a right to
I
defend
think
itself?
Iran is one of the most despicable
Does it have a right to
regimes
defend itself?
in the world. I also think that right now the Iranian regime is in serious danger.
You look completely discombobulated.
What do you mean?
You look dishevelled.
I'm telling you what I think of Iran.
I'm asking you, do they have a right to defend themselves? Do you think they have a right to defend themselves? Both of you can answer the question. Do they have a right to defend? They were attacked. The sovereign nation was attacked. My question is, does it have a right to defend?
Iran has been fueling attacks on Israel now for what, 40 years?
I've been having a moral quandary about this. I've been having a moral quandary about Iran.
Have you?
Yeah, moral quandary, yes. Moral quandary, I don't know. Do they have a right to defend themselves? And if so, what is the proportionate response?
You're supporting Iran, to be clear.
I'm asking you... No,
Are you supporting Iran?
I'm not supporting... I'm antithetical to many of these organisations for my own purposes. But my question to you...
Do you support the Iranian regime?
Not unconditionally, but I support their right...
What conditions do you agree with them about?
Their right to defend themselves. Do you believe they have a right to defend themselves?
No, because I think they're terrorists.
Oh, so they don't have a right to defend themselves? Iran does not have a right to defend itself?
They do, but they're not the ones...
So what is proportionate response?
They're not the ones...
What's a proportionate response?
Okay.
No,
can I answer it?
You asked this question to the people.
You're just going to keep talking. Can I answer it?
What's the proportionate response?
The proportionate response to Iran is to stop them trying to destroy Israel through their proxies, Hezbollah, the Houthis, and Hamas. That's what they've been trying to do for many years.
What is a proportionate response of Iran after their embassy was smashed and destroyed in Syria and 16 people were killed? What's the proportionate response?
Well, what about the proportionate response to everything Iran's done?
Which is against the Vienna Conventions.
What about the response to everything Iran has been doing?
What did Iran do to Israel? Who did they kill? Who did they
They've never killed anybody in Iran.
Excuse me, hold on. Which Israeli civilian have Iran successfully targeted? Give me one name, please.
You don't think Iran's been responsible for any Israeli civilian dying?
I'm asking you to edify
What about the way they funded Hamas?
You can both
slaughtered 1,200 people in Israel.
Iran in particular, I'm not talking about Hamas. We've spoken about Hamas at length. We're talking about Iran.
You do it through their
We're talking about Iran. It's old news. You're talking about
Let's let Alan respond.
Yes, go ahead. Who did they successfully target?
Well, let me respond.
Yeah, please, yeah.
The Iranians have been found by an Argentine court to have been guilty of killing hundreds of Israeli and Jewish people in Buenos Aires. They killed Marines through Hezbollah. They were combatants, but the attack on the Israeli Cultural Center, attack on the Israeli embassy, were attacks, according to the Argentinian judicial proceedings, attacks on Israel, entitling Israel to engage in response. Now, let me explain what proportionality means, because you're missing the point. Proportionality doesn't require that a country that's attack back in proportion. Proportionality only means that if you're going to attack a mixed target that has civilians and combatants, the ratio of civilians to combatants must be proportional to the military value of the target. And that's what Israel has been trying to do. But Iran has killed thousands and thousands of Israeli and Jewish civilians over the years. So to defend somehow Iran and saying that they were innocent, even the people who were killed, even the people who were killed in the embassy were combatants who were legitimately killed.
Can you hear me or not?
As combatants.
What's an acceptable ratio for you?
So Iran has no right of self-defense against that. Israel was completely entitled to kill.
Let me answer what you just said.
Israel was entitled to kill any combatant that was hiding in an embassy building.
Hold on. You've just conflated two things. You've spoken about the Argentinian case, which there is not an independent international investigation on, number one. And then you've spoken about, we're speaking about 1st of April. Was that a response to Argentina? It was not a response to Argentina. On the 1st of April, they bombed the Iranian embassy in Syria. They did not do so. They said that is a military base and that we're attacking. But we all know that in this country, for example, every single embassy has military attachés. They have military attaches. So if you go to the US Embassy here in London, they have armed officers. Does that make it a viable target? Does it make the US Embassy a viable target? The Russian Embassy a viable target? This is clearly against the UN Convention. It's against the Vienna Convention. You cannot attack. You cannot attack an embassy of another nation in another sovereign land. You cannot do that. And
let me respond to that.
No, hold on.
Let him answer.
Let me respond to that.
Sake.
Let me respond.
It's been
it was not an embassy. It was an ancillary building being used as a military center to plan attacks against Israel. They used the pretext of it being a building somehow attached to an embassy. The evidence is very clear.
Which is?
And be happy to have them bring a lawsuit
and
see if it can be resolved in a court of law. But Israel was entitled to regard who was killed. The people who were killed were military people who were planning attacks on Israel.
That's not true.
Using an annex to a building to do it. Did that justify 3,000 rockets being sent into Israel?
Hold on. Let me respond.
180 ballistic missiles being sent into Israel?
Have you made your point?
Not.
Okay. The response is as follows. First of all, 16 people were killed officially, and of them, there were 2 civilians that were killed. So what you're saying is only military targets is flatly false, squarely false, barefaced lie. You're a liar, as you were a liar when you were defending Epstein. That's number one. Number 2 is, when you say that, okay, that was a response, when Iran then, on the 14th of April, responded with missiles, once again, how many casualties were there? How many casualties were there? 0. Just like there were 0 casualties when they responded recently in October. Not one person died except for one Palestinian, ironically enough, that was apparently killed in the October one. But in the April one, no one died. It was precise strikes at military bases. Number 2, you speak about this being a base. As I say now, if you look at Collins' dictionary right now, there's 2 aspects of what is a military base, vernacularly speaking. Number 1 is that there has to be weapons in that place, and number 2, that there has to be training of soldiers. This is usually understood as what is a military base.
That's just made up. Those are made up stories. There's no truth to that at all.
What's made up? Which part of it is made up?
There's no truth to that.
Let him respond.
I haven't finished my point yet.
The fact that you need weapons.
No, let me finish
what I'm saying. Let me finish what I'm saying.
That's just made up. You don't need weapons to have a military base. It could be a command center where they're planning attacks.
Let me finish.
That's just made up.
Let me finish. The
more you say, the happier I am.
Okay. What I'm saying to you is that if you look at almost every Western government embassy in the West and outside of the West, they have military attaches. You can fact check this. You can go online. You will see in the US Embassy, in the French Embassy, in the British Embassy, military guards, people there that have their own weapons and guns. So according to you, that would be a military base. See, are they then legitimate targets?
What happened in this case was they used an annex of a building
Can we then contravene the Vienna agreements? Can we then conventions?
You don't know what you're talking about. You have no knowledge of international law or diplomacy law, the law of war.
You haven't got one peer-reviewed. You don't have one peer-reviewed work on international law. And Jimmy Carter, the former U.S. president, said you have no knowledge of Palestine. Don't speak to me about Palestine and these issues. Jimmy Carter, a former president of the United States, as you acknowledge, you've written it in your book. He says that you have no knowledge of the Palestine issue. Jimmy Carter said that. Don't speak to me like that.
Well, you want to hear something?
Yeah,
it
the only
was
thing
in
you
my
have knowledge
book.
about is where the doors and the rooms and the masseuses are.
It was in the back cover. It was the back cover of my book.
That's what you have knowledge of.
I've written 13 books.
Did you touch Virginia?
Did you touch her? On Israel.
Did you touch Virginia?
Some of which
Did you touch her? Did you touch that woman?
Never heard of her. Never met her. Never met her.
Don't lie. Don't lie to me. Did you touch that woman or not?
I'm telling you, I never met her, and she acknowledged
Did you touch that woman?
Under oath
Did you
that
sexually
she may
assault her?
have
You have no knowledge of his case, do you? You wouldn't be
you're
repeating
why are you defending me?
because he won a case. It was proven to be lies.
I'm asking him a question.
Why are you doing this?
I'm asking him a question.
This is not about Israel.
This is
You're trying to be a clever dick, but what you're doing is inviting a lawsuit from Anna, which you will get.
I'm ready for it.
You are?
Yeah.
Really?
I've got 4 defamation cases, all of which your friend Douglas Murray, I'm taking him to court.
Well, good luck with taking on Annan on this, is all I would say.
I'm ready for him. Oh, you love him, don't you?
No, it's just one case.
I just wonder what he has.
Defending himself.
I just wonder what leverage he has. Does he have any leverage on you?
God, this is pathetic, man.
I don't know why you keep defending
He's
him.
now accusing me of
extorting Pierce. Why are you doing it now?
He's a
Morgan,
monster.
right?
This man is a monster.
Well, why debate then?
Because I don't mind debating monsters, just like you don't mind debating monsters. We have that in common.
Do you want to finish the debate about the bigger picture or not?
I'm speaking about it. You guys are the ones rattled. I'm not rattled.
No one's rattled. We just think it's pathetic.
You're both rattled.
We think it's pathetic because you don't understand what you're talking about.
Really? That's just an assertion, really, isn't it?
No, you're just trying to get your clicks on X, and that's fine.
Oh, is that what you do? Is anything wrong with that?
No, you know what? Try and debate the issue.
You always brag about it, my friend.
Try and debate
you
the
brag
issue.
about it myself. We've got 1 million views, 2 million views. You talk about it all the time.
Alan, let me ask you something, which is about what Israel is doing.